while I've got everything rolling, thought I'd just do a little update. So, big plans, maybe not big plans. It's 2024 update for the Cayman. First thing I noticed when we look in this car, the steering wheel. Just never been a fan of it. I'll tell you what it is. It's just this little bit here, where the plastic goes round and sort of pollutes the edge of the wheel. When you're holding the wheel, you can feel this plastic. And it sounds like a little thing. It's very annoying. A popular thing on these 987s or 997s is the sport design wheel, which some cars came with, and you basically take this airbag out and replace it. But the wheel itself's like, I think Porsche quoted £1,100. It's not the end of the world, and it's still worth money. So honestly, I've not decided on that yet. I can either go with that, or I can get like a airbag delete, smaller wheel, for much less money. A little bit of weight saving, not sure. So not decided there yet. I've got this Chinese head unit that I'm debugging at the moment because it doesn't turn off. So the guy that sold it is trying to help me with that. I'd like to get that fixed and working, because it's an Android head unit. So the buttons themselves, I'm not a fan of the quality, but it has a nice screen. I tested it. The audio quality's good, so that'll be good for driving over to the Nurburgring, having Waze on the go on the head unit itself, not doing in my battery. And the main thing, I'd like to run Race Chrono on the head unit itself, so that on track days and whatnot, I don't have to worry about gluing my phone to the glove box, like you can see there. So that would be nice. So hopefully we'll get that fixed. In the back of the car, you can see some updates. Some trim removal has been going on. It's actually, you'd be surprised how quickly the trim adds up in weight terms. I'm not looking to drop the weight of the car by 100 kilos or anything. Obviously I'd like to, but I've got to be realistic about these things. So I'm going to clear all this out. I'm expecting best part of 20 kilos out, I think, once all said and done, and that will offset roll cage. So roll cage goes there. Sadly, it's all packed up and ready to go because it doesn't fit. It's basically, I think it's a defect. The bit that bolts onto the strut tower, the rear strut towers, doesn't quite marry up both sides. The cage doesn't fit together itself, but the main thing is it bolts onto these two little points here and completely fouls all this mechanism. So I knew the seatbelt cassette had to be moved, so they move it just to like down here. And I was thinking, oh, okay, fine, so the seatbelt just goes up in here. But this bar here, this retaining sort of channel, essentially, for the stock seatbelt, is just completely fouled by the cage. So you can't have that. So you might say, what's the point in that? And I think their argument is certain race series stipulate that you must retain the original seatbelt. Obviously, you don't use it, but must still have it for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. Such a cop-out answer, if you ask me. So there's a German company called Hygo, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is who I'm going to go for a cage with. It's a little bit more money, but I've seen it actually fit on a Cayman, and the seatbelt, you can retain the seatbelts. Again, you just have to move these cassettes. But that would be good. So that's cool. Suspension is in progress. I've just finished filming a quick video on how to remove these little anti-roll bar bolts, because they're all seized on these cars. So these will all be seized and need cutting off. And I've got a nice little method I came up with on my old car for that. So I thought I'd just quickly film that as a little how-to. So once that's all done, we're going KW Clubsports, which we've got ready to go in. I've got these nice little trick front arms, which allow a decent amount of camber at the front. The back is not too bad anyway, so I've got some new parts. Do you know what? I might actually show you. If I just dig it out the bin here. So this is one of the old. So I think people call these coffin arms. So these go like this. So that goes in there somewhere, and then that attaches. Can you hear that? Like a tuning fork, and then that bolts to the control arm itself. Now, rubber is obviously meant to be hard. Get a load of that shit. Can move that by hand. Now, for what it's worth, it's not the back and forth movement that's the problem, because that has to move a little bit to allow it to fit. For what it's worth, like I can't move it forwards and backwards. Do you know what? Yeah, I can see it like moving by maybe a millimetre or so, which is far too much. So these are fucked. I didn't want to spend like £1,500 on the solid versions of those, so I cheaped out and I just got OEM replacements for that. I have got a Powerflex rear control arm to go on here, just to firm up all the moving parts back here and make sure that suspension's really doing its job. So that's suspension. Obviously the anti-roll bar is a thing on these, but I don't want to change too much in a short space of time. So we've got KWs to go on, massively stiffer than stock, so I want to see what that does before we must start messing with anti-roll bars as well. That's very easy to change. You just literally just pop it off the car. Once these have been changed, that will be easy. Exhaust is the big one. The Porsche Sports exhaust is shit. So that's coming off, and a Miltech is going on. It's going to have nice new shiny sort of silver tips on the back. Pretty much the same size as that, but they're just nice and straight cut and more importantly clean. And then not only is the Miltech bigger bore than even the Cayman R exhaust, it's the resonated version, so it should quieten things down a lot. We'll still have the top end howl because of those decats, but I think it's going to sound really, really nice. I'm looking forward to before and after with that. And I've got a remap box on the way just to make sure the car's running okay. So yeah, that's updates for the next like couple of weeks of work, let's say. It's going to be really good getting this car back on the road. It's not moved for the last few months, just been sort of stored at my house. Nurburgring trip is in a month, so going to have this all ready for then. The cage is a maybe at this point. Like it takes a few weeks to get built and delivered. So that's completely wishful thinking at this point. We've driven the car with standard seat belts a lot. That's not the end of the world. So it might be nice just to have a sort of an increment again, because honestly, the changes that are going on this car in the next couple of weeks there's quite a few. So anyway, just quick update on what's happening to the Cayman.